Tobar is the captain of the steamboat Duchess Gambit, a ferry with which travelers can venture from the capital wasteland to Point Lookout, Maryland. In his youth, he was an adventurous and sprightly fellow whose curiosity took him up and down the coast from the Commonwealth to the Broken Banks. Regardless of the veracity of his claims, he is a living reminder that the world will always have a place for the savvy and charming trickster. The Duchess was a small sightseeing vessel used for tourist excursions along the Chesapeake Bay before the war. Tobar's grandfather found her and, with the help of his caravan, restored the boat's boiler, allowing the vessel to be powered by steam heat from any fuel that will fit inside the burner. Although Tobar is slow to venture anywhere far from the safety of his ship, money is a powerful motivator for him, and he'll do almost anything to turn a buck. He takes on passengers whenever possible and always chews the scenery to sell a riverboat ticket. Nevertheless, he is quite knowledgeable about Point Lookout and its various locales, like the conveniently close House of Wares, which he gets a commission for referring travelers, the old Homestead Motel for a place to stay, the High Roller Hunting Club in the coastal grotto, or the abandoned Calvert Mansion, filled with pre-war treasures. When he's not grifting deals to travelers, he is bartering with local merchants, like Haley or Madame Panada. Not only does he usually negotiate a considerable fare for his passengers, but most who visit the commune at Point Lookout join it, each time creating a new opportunity for Tobar to earn his next punga shipment. Tobar has long since decided that something must be off about that fruit, and he has not touched the stuff since. Tobar has various ports along the Atlantic seaboard. His current career as a ferryman revolves around the punga fruit produced by the Point Lookout tribals. The tribal leader of the fruit farmers has struck a gruesome bargain with the ferryman, permitting him to export the considerable surplus of punga fruit produced by the commune each month, although Tobar is wary of revealing his supplier. This is because the deal allows Tobar to acquire punga fruit in exchange for performing lobotomites on the tribal cult initiates. Strangely, he kept the parts of the brain he removed as, quote, trophies. When the lone wanderer finally confronts him about taking part of their brain, he taunted them about their spirit walk, and attempted to justify his actions by stating it was what he needed to do to survive, and that the lone wanderer has killed far more people than he has. After finishing his talk, he then attacked the lone wanderer and was killed. The ownership of the Duchess Gambit, and by extension, the business of exporting punga fruit, transferred to Nadine upon his death.
Welcome, my friend. I am Tobar the Ferryman, and this fine vessel is the Duchess Gambit. We're just back from Point Lookout, but it won't be long before we set off again. Interested? Ah, but he's not here, now is he? And besides, I'm no stranger. I'm Tobar the Ferryman, at your service. You should have seen her back in her heyday. Why, we traveled up and down the coast from the Commonwealth to the Broken Banks. Good times, but these days she's not fit to take out to the coast. Too many spouts ready to drown her and too many critters looking for lunch. But the Point Lookout run is good enough for now. We've got a sweet deal ferrying cargo and the occasional traveler. Down south, this side of the bay, there's a soggy strand of beach called Point Lookout. Oh, it's got it all. Ruins of ancient pleasure towns, mysterious swamps bristling with treasure, and all practically untouched by outsiders. But if you're curious, I could offer you a ride over to that faraway land. For a nominal fee, of course. Down south. Ah, Nadine. Sprightly little tomboy with more curiosity than common sense, that one. Caused so much trouble on the trip that I probably would have thrown her overboard if she hadn't reminded me of myself at her age. I haven't seen her since we hit land at Point Lookout, but knowing her, I'll bet she's gotten herself in plenty of trouble. Looking for fame and fortune? Hoping to cultivate the delicious punga fruit? Or just looking to run away from your life on these dreary shores? Once you've got a ticket, just head into the cabin and settle in on the cot. We'll be there in no time. Good stuff, isn't it? Actual healthy food grown in the actual ground and everything. There's a few places out in the point where it grows naturally. One group of tribals have cultivated and refined it, but they're not big on sharing. Don't even ask how I get my hands on the refined crop. A magician never reveals his secrets, does he? Good travels to you. Welcome to Point Lookout, my friend. The trip was fine. The weather's nice and damp, and everything out there looks pleasant as ever. Looks like nothing's changed since my last visit, except all that smoke I saw on the way in. Oh, nothing much, just old Calvert Mansion. Just a huge abandoned estate teeming with who knows what opportunities for profitable scavenging. You know, nothing much. I know I said Point Lookout was perfect for treasure hunters, but it's a rare day when you get a beacon like that. You're staring at it, friend. Drink it in. See the glorious boardwalk, fabled pleasure town of the sunny past, and beyond it lies the haunted swamplands. Who knows what's hidden in them? But while you get your bearings, my friend runs an excellent supply shop right here near the boardwalk. Depends what you're looking for. If you need supplies, head to the shop over at the end of these docks. Convenient, and I get caps for referring you. If you need a place to stay, there's an old motel further into town. The beds there are still pretty soft, even if it's because they're full of lice. And if you're looking for some hunting, there's a fella named Plick who runs a club out in the northeast. Strictly for high rollers, though. Good travels to you.
Hey, just in time. Found out who went rooting around in our skulls, and you'll never guess who it was. As a totally unrelated hint, I'm in charge of his boat now. Yeah, looks like it. When the tribals would send someone to the swamp, he'd be waiting around to nab 'em when the Pungaseeds gassed 'em. He'd do his amateur surgery for the tribals and let us wander back, all in exchange for punga fruit to trade. Sweet little deal he had going on. Anyway, I figured you'd want a shot at some revenge, so I put him under citizen's arrest, sorta. Yeah. He seemed nice enough, didn't he? I wouldn't have figured it out if I hadn't snuck into his engine room while waiting for you. From the look of it, he kept every bit of gray matter he cut out, and he had quite a collection. You can take a look if your stomach's up to it. And while you're in there, feel free to give Tobar my love, preferably with the sharp end of a hot knife. First off, I'm claiming this boat. I put Tobar down, so it's mine. Them's the rules of the ocean. So that leaves me with a boat, a load of punga, and a wicked scar. Damn if I haven't earned that adventure I came out looking for. Think I'll take over running this ship. I can travel as I like and always head back to the wasteland to see Mom. Not a bad way to live, huh? Of course, you can always ride for free. Yeah.
Well, if it isn't my favorite traveler. And oh, what a trip you were on. Why, when you were under, you should have heard some of the things that came out of your mouth. But I suppose you're more interested in what came out of your head, aren't you? Why do we do anything? You travel the world, kill people, take trophies that interest you, and move on. I'm much the same. The only difference is that my trophies are somewhat more medical in nature. Oh, and to be honest, I probably kill fewer people than you do. But I suppose it's time that came to an end, one way or another.